In this video I will show you how to replace a transmission shift solenoid on 2004 to 2012 Chevrolet Colorado pickup trucks. This video can also be used as a reference on how to change the automatic transmission filter in these trucks. Step number 1. Park the truck on a flat surface, place blocks in front and behind the rear wheels for safety. 2. Raise the front of the truck with a hydraulic floor jack and place the jack stands under the chassis for safety. 3. Place a drain pan under the transmission and remove the bolts holding the transmission oil pan in place using a ratchet and a 13mm socket. Note: to prevent oil spills, leave a couple of bolts loose for now. 4. Tilt the transmission oil pan slightly over the container to partially empty it and make it easier to remove it completely, then remove the pair of bolts you left loose earlier and proceed to remove the transmission oil pan completely. 5. Once the transmission oil pan is removed, thoroughly clean the surface where the gasket sits with a towel, and, if necessary, remove any residue stuck with a sharp scraper. 6. Thoroughly clean the transmission pan with a towel, and, if necessary, remove any residue using a sharp scraper as well. 7. Disconnect the electrical connection from the solenoid by lifting the connector tab using a flathead screwdriver and pulling it outwards at the same time. 8. Remove the clip that holds the solenoid by pulling it down using a hook or needle nose pliers. 9. Once the retaining clip has been removed, proceed to remove the defective shift solenoid in its entirety by pulling it outwards with your hand as shown in the image. 10. Coat the seal of the new shift solenoid with a light coat of transmission fluid and proceed to install it in its original position by inserting it all the way in by hand. 11. Install the solenoid locking clip in its original position using needle nose pliers as shown in the image. 12. Reconnect the solenoid electrical plug by inserting the connector by hand, ensuring that the lock is properly engaged. 13. Remove the transmissional filter by pulling it down with your hands. 14. Remove the oil filter seal by prying down on the edge with a flathead screwdriver. Note: if the truck has low mileage and the rubber part of the seal is still flexible, you can opt to leave it and only install the new filter, as removing and installing the seal can be slightly difficult without the proper seal removal tool. 15. Install the new seal in its original position by inserting it by hand first. Next, finish installing it all the way using a socket that fits over the edge of the seal or a seal driver and a hammer. 16. Install the new transmission filter in its original position by pressing it inward with your hand until it sits correctly. 17. Install the new transmission pan gasket over the clean transmission oil pan. Insert the bolts that are located in the corners to hold the gasket in place. 18. Install the transmission pan in its original position and proceed to tighten the bolts in 2 stages, alternating in a crisscross fashion and torquing them to the specifications listed in the owner's manual. 19. To get the correct reading when measuring the transmission oil, lower the truck to the ground. 20. Next, open the hood and proceed to remove the transmission oil dipstick. Place a funnel in the dipstick tube and add transmission oil in the amount and type specified in the owner's manual. Note: if you are unsure on how much transmission fluid to add, measure the old fluid that was drained into the drain pan and proceed to add the same quantity of new transmission fluid. 21. Once you have added new transmission fluid, proceed to start the engine. Press the brake pedal and move the shift lever through all the gears slowly back and forth a few times. Check for proper oil level. Verify that there are no fluid leaks and that everything is working properly. Take the truck for a test drive to ensure that the transmission shifts correctly. That's how easy it is to change the transmission shift solenoid and transmission filter in 2004 to 2012 Chevrolet Colorado pickup trucks.